Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. So this is day 2 of the Vybz Kartel appeal at the appeal courts in Jamaica. This is the court that the Privy Council, after quashing the conviction, sent the case back to this court, where a 3-panel judge situation, 3 judges sitting on a panel, will then decide if there will be an acquittal, which means freedom, or if there will be a retrial, which could mean many other things. Boy, oh boy. So day 2 heated up like this. According to Nationwide Radio JM, attorneys representing Vybz Kartel and his co-accused, they urged the court, speaking to the judges, the Court of Appeals, to please draw a line in the sand and to reject the state's attempt, the DPP's attempt, to retry the men for a 2011 murder conviction. The impassioned plea was made by John Clark on day 2 of the retrial hearing. John Clark, attorney at law who represents Kahira Jones, he urged the 3 judges to give some life to the meaning of the Jamaican Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms and set the men free. John Clark told the Courts of Appeals that the Charter of Rights calls for a more rigorous enforcement and enhancement on human rights in Jamaica. He told Justice MacDonald, Bishop, Williams, and Fraser that no justice can be done by sending Vybz Kartel, Sean Stum, and Andre St. John and Kahira Jones back to the Home Circuit Court again to stand trial again for the matter that is now more than a decade old. He also asked the judges to use this case to draw a line in the sand. According to John Clark, such a line would serve as a warning to the Parliament and the executive arms of the government that the rights of accused persons must be taken seriously. Boy, oh boy, this is where things get sticky right here, you know. According to John Clark, such a line would serve as a warning to Parliament and the executive arms of the government that the rights of accused persons must be taken seriously. In my personal opinion, warning Parliament is like a group of people who look down on the peasants in Jamaica. The population, if you're not from the upper echelon, you are peasants. So warning and setting a warning for them and the executive arms of government that the rights of accused person must be taken seriously. Listen, in Jamaica, once you're accused, you're convicted. Okay? Jamaicans, a lot of them have this saying that says, if you no go so, it close to go so. They have many more sayings. If you never did that, your name wouldn't call. If you never sit down on the foul roofs, foul wouldn't shit on you. All kind of talks like that, right? If you never go so, it close to go so. So, with that mentality, once you are accused, the people have already convicted you. Oh, and let you not be a famous person. Don't be a famous person, and don't have your name out there floating around in some of these bloggers, vloggers' mouths with street rumors being amplified through social media. Kartel kill whole heap of man, whole heap of man him send God a hell, whole heap of man him send go early grave. Them man they wicked, them a killer from long time. Yeah. You know, when you ask these people making these ghastly accusations about other people, if him kill whole heap of man, then just give me one proof. You don't know what you talk about, man, SouFLo, man. You have to know, man. You have to know. That's the only proof they have. That is the only proof they have, right? So John Clark is up here, and I said this before yesterday. This case is changing a few things within our judicial system in Jamaica, whether we like it or not, and whether they do it now or do it later. Yeah. So executive arms of the government warning to the parliament and executive arms of the government that the rights of accused persons must be taken seriously, that could be a step in the right direction, yes. But usually they see this as, how dare you speak to me in this manner? The attorney, John Clark, maintained that retrying the men after more than a decade had passed, it would not serve the interest of justice. He told the court it would be an economic and a emotional burden on the men. Of course it would. Of course it would. Now, a lot of people are going to chime in right here and say emotional burden on the men. The men them kill people and them need for. So what about Lizard Mother and her emotional burden? Of course, the woman wants justice for whatever happened to her son. But remember, in the eyes of the law, if you are considered innocent until proven guilty, then your emotional burden must also be considered, right? Right. So Clark reminded the Court of Appeals that the Privy Council had already found that their constitutional rights were breached. In Jamaica, I really don't think they give two frigs about the Privy Council now that I've seen this. He says that subjecting them to a new trial would only further breach those rights. Clark asked the court to set down a maximum number of years after which the state should not be permitted to retry an accused person. This would be another new change in the law that would draw a line in the sand. That way we would have a definitive point where we could say, well, the paper says 15 years and 15 years has passed. He already did 15, no sense in retrying again, gotta let the man go. Otherwise, without these checks and balances in the law, these cases can drag on forever and ever, So when asked how resources constraints may influence unfortunate delays in criminal matters, Clark pressed on, and he said he urged the court to use the Vybz Kartel matter to set down a marker. Clark told the judges that sending Kartel and his co-accused to face another trial may also affect the rights of other criminal defendants. He told the court that there were already citizens waiting on the trial list trying to clear their names already. So when you block up the system and drag this out, those people who are innocent already, accused and waiting to clear their name, they will have to just wait and wait and wait as the backlog continues and continues and continues. Now, according to Clark, Vybz Kartel's case being sent back would mean that it would push other matters forward back on the list. This, he says, would be an injustice to those who have been waiting for their day and their time in court for justice. This is not the country we want to live in. The decade-old legal saga is again before the local Court of Appeals after the UK-based Privy Council quashed the men's 2014 murder convictions and sent the matter back to the appellate tribunal in Jamaica to determine if they should be retried for the murder or if they will be acquitted. The hearing will continue, and Mr. Clark is expected to call on affidavit evidence of the accused men in arguing against a retrial. The Crown is expected to open its arguments for a retrial on Wednesday. So Wednesday, the Crown, those representing the government arm, the DPP, they will now step before these three-panel judges and say why they think there should be a retrial. Meanwhile, speaking to a journalist outside of the courthouse, John Clark warned that if the justice system can retry Vybz Kartel after a decade, then all poor Jamaicans would be at the mercy of this unjust justice system, which is exactly some of the stuff that I have been saying mostly and all along. Now, the headline that said school is over and we are now in court, that one not baffled. I found it funny. And I found it funny because I was the one that said the language that they're continuing shows their vindictiveness, shows that they were offended and they intend to seek revenge. Speaking of when Isaac Buchanan said to the judge that there is a lacuna in the law and there is no law on the books that would hold these men justifiably in continued confinement. And Your Honor, if there is one, please show it to me. School me, because that is why I'm here. To me, that's humbleness. To me, that's throwing myself at your mercy, saying, I've studied, I've used my brain, I've done what I'm supposed to do as an attorney, and I can't find it. So you, being of superior status, maybe you can school me to this. Maybe you can show me, right? And when the judge replied and said, you will be schooled tomorrow, in the judgment, it already told me that she already knew what she was going to do from the day he said that, not the next day, right? So she brewed and steamed all night and came back the next day and said what she had to say with absolutely no intentions of giving bail. But here we are now back at the appeal court, and the first day they started, the judge said school is in session. Why did we start with the school thing again? ISAT said school me, the judge says you will be schooled. Now at the appeal court, the judge started out saying school is in session. Then today, which is the next day, the headline says school is over. We are now in court. Well, guess what? I'm glad this whole school BS foolishness is over, and I hope they really make it be over, but I don't think so. I just think they've picked up on the fact that we have picked up on the language they're using, and their vindictiveness is just going to be layered in an undertone now instead of being so brash and upfront. Justice Marva McDonald Bishop, she gave a stern warning as day 2 of the Vybz Kartel and his co-accused retrial hearing got underway Tuesday morning. She said school is over and we are now in court. This is what she told the court. She says that we are now judges and you are now lawyers, and this is no joke. Advising the lawyers to be intentional in their presentation, McDonald Bishop added that this case is set to end this Friday coming. We cannot go any further than Friday. The highly anticipated appeal hearing started on Monday morning, and it is expected to last for 5 days. This follows the court's rejection of an application to release Vybz Kartel and his co-accused on May 30th on bail pending this appeal hearing, which is now in process. Well, we will be watching closely. We will be studying the words used. We will be waiting for justice to be served. This is an update for all who wants to know what's going on, where the situation is at, and what to expect next. Tune in and stay tuned and pay attention to every update we give you, because this Friday you will see if my words come to pass or not. I hope they do not. I hope these guys get out on bail, but I know that they are going to grant a retrial because they are all in cahoots and this is already pre-planned. That's my own assumption. I'll leave it right here where it's at for now. Stay tuned. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.